What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Jihin Show here on Sherdog.com. And I'm here in the early hours of the morning to bring you a recap of the One Championship card over in Singapore. It's the second One Championship card on Amazon. And you know what? What a card, especially the main card. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really good main event and a good couple of fights to go through, and I'm going to recap those fights. I know maybe a lot of people didn't catch it, or if you're here in my part of the world, maybe it was on late and you didn't stay up for it, but it was it's one to go back and watch if you didn't see it. I know it's obviously on Amazon in the States and in Canada, or if you're in the UK, it's on YouTube, and it's on pay-per-view other parts of the world as well. But definitely, this main card was absolutely fantastic in the main event. I know a lot of people were watching, a lot of people are tweeting about it, and I think it was one of those fights as well. You know, like the old Stephen Bonner Forrest Griffin. People were tweeting about it as it went, and people were kind of drawn in and watching it. So I usually like to go from the bottom to the top when I'm recapping these cards, but I think I'll have to start at the top just because it was such a good fight. But before maybe I do that, I spoke the last day about the card. And that was like a kickboxing card with a couple of MMA fights and a couple of submission grappling fights thrown in. This was really an MMA card with a couple of the rest of them thrown in, which for me obviously would be my preference. And I really, really liked it. The early kickboxing Muay Thai matches were pretty good. There was only one non-MMA matchup on the main card, and that was the submission grappling, which we'll talk about in a second. And I really like that. You know, it's a little bit different, but you have most of what you want. And I think that's the key for One Championship. You know, I think they do that with the kickboxing, do that with the MMA. I think that's definitely the way to go. I think one recent card was maybe too much kickboxing on a big MMA card. And I think you know, a bit of it's fine, but not too much. I think that's the way they need to go from now on. And the last two cards, they've definitely hit I think the right wavelength with that. So fair play to them on that. But as I say, a classic card here, I would say, but a classic main event between Angela Lee and Jingnan. If anyone watched the preview show I did, I kind of I told you what was going to happen by looking at what happened in the last fights, because it was a better fight than those two, I would say, but very similar as well in many ways. When Jingnan can land her shots, she dominates Angela Lee. When she doesn't throw her shots, she gives Lee the opportunity to get into the fight, and Lee inevitably takes that opportunity. Like, Lee is such a dog on her. She really, really has. She's like the poster girl for One Championship, but she's like the opposite of how a poster girl should fight. You know, she fights like Darren Elkins or something, and that, you know, maybe people are thinking, oh, you're slagging her off or whatever. I'm the world's biggest Darren Elkins fan, so that's in no way a derogatory thing to say. And I love her style. I think loads of people love her style. It's absolutely brilliant. But Xingnang's style as well is absolutely fantastic. And it turned into a fantastic fight because of that. Now, as I said, looking back at the other fights, when Jingnan let her hands go, she was able to land on Lee at will. In the first round of the second fight, in the fifth round of the first fight, it was really all hers in that. Now in this one, it was the first round again, and it was all her. It was all her landing the shots, but God Almighty, Angela Lee made it easier for her to land those shots. She was absolutely walking in, chin up, looking for big shots, just kind of, you know, not Marat Simpson, Lisa Simpson, you know, windmilling it, coming in and getting absolutely caught every time. Xingnang was throwing those lovely hook to the body, hook to the body, hook to the head. Every time it was landing, that left hook, I was just waiting for Angela Lee to be prone on the floor with one of those left hooks that just kept landing over and over and over. And that was the key for Jingnan, to land those shots over and over and throw those shots over and over and over. And she did it in that first round and a bit in the second round. And Angela Lee survived. Angela Lee survived. That's how tough and good Angela Lee is. And I tell you, there was at times in those first 2 rounds, the first round anyway, where she made it a little bit tough. But the vast majority of it, she was literally walking chin up in the air, and not necessarily hands down, but hands not in the place to protect yourself, just whiffing shots and getting absolutely ate up all the time. Like what Angela Lee is great at in a fight like this, and what she had success with in the first fight, in the first 2 fights, was her ability to land those shots inside, get the fight to the canvas, or get the fight to the cage, while not, getting into a pocket striking match with Jingnan. Now, she didn't get into a pocket striking match with her, but she tried striking from the pocket with her and got absolutely ate up doing it. So I don't want to stay in this first round forever, but let me walk you quickly through it. As I said, chin up in the air. She was eating left hooks for supper, hurt badly. Jingnan knocked her down with a one as she was going forward. Lee survived. Herb Dean nearly stopped it. He was, he was doing his usual Herb Dean falling over the action sort of thing. Lee was very lucky he didn't stop it. Very, very lucky. After that, she got back up in the first round, walked forward again, got caught again, didn't matter. But luckily, towards the end, she got the clinch. And I think, even though anyone in their sane mind who's watched the first 2 fights would tell you exactly what Angela Lee needs to do, and getting a clinch is a big part of that. But I think it kind of seemed to remind her maybe at the end of that. And from then on, she did get better. But she was taking a few to get into the clinch. Then in the second, she got a takedown and got right back up. There was a few knees to the head inside as they were holding on inside. Angela got her in like a modified guillotine kind of stand, and those were where the knees were landed. Then she almost she pulled the kind of guillotine, tried to get it, and didn't. But what Angela did in the second round that she didn't do in the first round was she kept it close. And when I mean kept it close, I mean like physically close. Space was the killer for Angela Lee in this fight. Now, did she win the second round? It scored the fight as a whole, so that doesn't really matter. But if you're looking at it in the way it's normally scored in MMA, I would say probably not, maybe, because she was still eating a few shots and taking shots, as I said, to get inside. Now, those knees and the guillotine attempt was good, so maybe it was close enough. But it was definitely a comeback round for Angela Lee. In the third, Angela was trying to barrel in, and she was doing a better job of it this time. She really, really was doing a better job. Jingnan was still landing a few shots, not as hard, I would say. Now, another bit of analysis I had coming into this fight was, I think the problem with Jingnan and why she doesn't throw her shots all the time like she did in round 1 here is, okay, Angela didn't make it as easy on her, granted, one, but I think she has, I don't think she necessarily has cardio problems. I think she has like mental problems with her cardio. I don't think she believes in her cardio. But, and now, as I said in the previous, I haven't seen all of her fights. I haven't gone back and watched all of her fights, but from the 4 or 5 fights I've watched, I haven't seen any of that. But what I have seen is her like kind of holding back to protect that. Now, maybe it's not to protect that cardio. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she just kind of gets drawn into the fight. But what it looks like to me is it looks like she's trying to protect the cardio. And if she hadn't done it in this fight, I think she probably would have got the finish. Because if this was a 3-round fight, I think she would have gone on and on and on and landed more shots and probably ended up getting the finish, but she didn't. So in that third, as I said, Angela barreling in, landing a few. She just stopped throwing again. So Angela was kind of winning by default. In the mid part of that round, but not winning by too much. Landed a lovely head kick late, which was probably her best shot of that round, if not the fight in general. In the fourth, Angela was kind of picking her off in the fourth. They said that the pace had slowed in that. I was like, the pace has slowed long before the 4th round. I was kind of saying to myself, she was landing a few more, but not too much. The problem here for Angela Lee is She got a takedown, but it went right back up. She got a good combination, but it kind of went to the fence. Nothing happened from it. She landed some lovely knees to the body, but there wasn't anything big. There wasn't anything massive. There wasn't anything hurtful, even though she, arguably won 3, maybe 4 rounds in a row. There wasn't anything massive. In the 5th round in, Angela got a takedown, but it got up again. So there was no big long portions of top control with shots or anything. Angela was winning because Xiong wasn't doing much until maybe the last minute or two. And I was thinking to myself, going into the 5th round, apologies again for my voice, I'm in the middle of the Rona here, but I'll barrel through as Angela leaded. I was thinking to myself before that 5th round, I was like, Angela, maybe she needs a finish here, but I honestly think if she had a big 5th round, she would have won the fight. No, she ended up losing. Jingnan won the fight by unanimous decision, I believe that they said it. It scored as a whole, so as we know, we don't have the 50-45 or anything like that. So it was a very close fight. She basically won it based on what happened in the 1st round, knocked Lee down hard, almost finished her a few times, and the rest of the fight was Lee winning a close fight. So, if this happened in America, this happened in the UFC, this happened in Bellator, I think this would have been an Angela Lee fight all day, to be honest. She either would have won. It could have been a 10-8 there in there, so maybe not. But I think it could have been a draw. So it was either going to be 4 rounds to 1, 3 rounds to 2, and if it was 3-2, it could have been a draw because that would have been a 10-8 maybe in the 1st round. So all in all, the way they score fights in one championship, like we score rounds in this part of the world with damage meaning the most. They gave the decision to the person who did the most damage, so I can't complain. I think it's a right decision for Jingnan to win it, and commiserations, Angela Lee. To be fair as well, people are, whenever fights like this happen, to give it to the golden girl or whatever. They didn't, Angela Lee, the golden girl, they didn't give it to her. They're on about having to fight again now. I'd watch it again. I think it was a great fight, a third one. Lee still has her belt to weight down. Jingnan could go down and get that belt, so I definitely could see that happening. Let's do that. All right, we move on to the rest of the card. The submission grappling match was then after that. The next match, Mikey Musumeci versus Cleber Sousa, went to decision. Mikey won. I'm not going to be able to give you a breakdown of this because honestly, I have no idea what happened. Mikey looked like a puddle going around the place. He basically put his back. He's a small, little, tiny lad. So is the other lad, obviously. But you only see a baby with their legs the way he has it. Like his legs were just back. It was like an upside down crab or something. Crazy stuff altogether. It was fun. I liked that. I liked watching it. I used to watch a lot of jiu-jitsu back in the day when I started watching MMA first. And I haven't been watching loads of it recently, I'll be honest. And this was very different jiu-jitsu to the jiu-jitsu I used to watch back in the day. It was very funky sort of jiu-jitsu. A lot of action and all though. And, he was clearly the one kind of doing the more was Mikey. I enjoyed it. It was 10 minutes, went quick, no breaks, no messing in and out, and he won a big belt. So fair play to Mikey. Absolutely great stuff there. Right, a former opponent of Angela Lee then fought in the next fight, Stamp Fairtex against Jihin Radzuan. It was a tough fight for Stamp here. I heard Rich Franklin talking about it. I'm not sure if it was earlier in the card or in the last card, and he was saying, this is seen as an easy fight for Stamp, but I don't think it will be, and he was dead on. Some very nice shots from Stamp early, but Jihin got a very fast takedown attempt into the clinch. Stamp just was not able to escape. She was eventually taken down. There wasn't much landed. Stamp landed a few McGregor elbows, but in a fight she was supposed to dominate, she didn't clearly win round 1. Stamp looked as well like she wasn't taking it seriously. Her corner came in, carried her to the corner. Just even the walking, I know she does the dancing thing, but she didn't look like she was taking it seriously. Start the second, they traded leg kicks. Jihin landed, but Stamp was landing much harder. Lovely right hands from Stamp. She stopped the takedown then. and she stopped the second one, and then she took the back in a beautiful way. She was under the neck but couldn't get the grip. Very good defensive work by Jihin, but Stamp was dominant, and then at that point got the body triangle. Wasn't over the ankle, it was kind of on her foot. It was Rich Franklin. Do you know what? Rich Franklin's a very good commentator, to be fair, and so is Mitch Chilson. I think it's always a bit weird when they call him Dragon, but Shivhella wasn't there tonight, so we didn't have much of that. But he's pretty good as well, to be honest. I like their team. There's a few shots landed with the back taken. Jihin turned and almost got on top, and then did get on top, but only with a few seconds left, so there wasn't enough there. Massive knockdown for Stamp with the left elbow, then just an absolute ping of an elbow. Kaposa has the video up, a really good elbow. She landed on top, secures some ground and pound, a late armbar attempt that looked on from Jihin. Stamp got out though, and almost got a knee bar for on the fight ended then. Stamp was a winner, a fair winner, but close fight and a very, very good fight. I'd love to see Jihin again. I think Stamp and Angela Lee is a fight that's probably bound to happen down the road again, and maybe even Stamp against Xiong. I could see that happening as well. So very, very good performance there from a good win for Stamp. I wouldn't say a massive performance from Stamp, a better performance I would say from Jihin, but good stuff anyway there. Then we Freymanov versus Martin Nguyen. A very, very good performance from Freymanov. This guy's an absolute beast. The body kicks early. I think I mentioned him on the preview show as well. Martin tried to take him down, just couldn't. Then came the finish. Huge knee, right hand knockdown, grounded knees, many grounded knees, and then Kost stopped it. Really, really good win there for Freymanov, and he looks like another guy. Maybe Zoldic down the line or something like that as well. I know he's 155 now, and Zoldic is up maybe a little bit higher, but the weight classes in the one championship are a bit, people go up and down, so I think that's possible. Halil Amir then, and Timothy Nastyukhin. Timothy went for the takedown early but didn't get it. Big knees to the body from Amir. Nastyukhin came into it a little bit, landed a few overhands, and then got a takedown. The right hand from Amir though absolutely rocked Timothy. There's big grounded knees, got up, but then he landed about 50 strikes. And Herb Dean here, he was on the complete wrong side at the kind of the latter what would you say, a quarter of this finish, and he just completely missed. I'd say about 15 to 20 strikes where it probably should have been stopped, because there was a natural stage to stop it. He missed that, and he missed a few more shots, and then he got into position to see like the 10 shots for the natural stoppage. So I'm like, that was just way too much there. If you look at just the stoppage by itself, it probably looks grand, but you're kind of missing a stoppage and a half before that, if you get me. So not great here, I would say, from her, to be honest, but a great win from Halil Amir. And what a main card that was. Really, really good main card. Amir got the second round KO. Freymanov the first round finish. Stamp and Jihin put on a classic fight, and then Jingnan Zhang and Angela Lee, another classic fight as well there in the main event. So that was really, really good. On the preliminary card then, we'll run through that pretty quickly here. Marat Grigorian was fighting Ozcan in a featherweight kickboxing bout. Lots of leg kicks early. Marat was landing the better punches in round one. More kicks from Marat, I would say, but Ozcan I thought was landing the harder kicks. So very, very close there, I would say. The uppercut stuff from Ozcan in the first and second round was really, really good. Just ferocious uppercuts. Insane amount of strikes landed in the second. God almighty. Insane. The third, they just absolutely battered each other. As kind of a layman, I suppose, on kickboxing and Muay Thai and all of this, I was just kind of sitting back enjoying it. This was a really, really good one. Grigorian's leg was absolutely reddened, and they said, it's reddened because Ozcan's leg was bleeding, and I was like, it was, but it was also reddened. It wasn't just the blood. It was they were both absolutely ate up, and if you look at it and you think like Ozcan's kicks were harder, and they definitely were. The effect that they were having was ridiculous altogether. So that was a very, very good kickboxing match there, if you like that sort of thing. Very, very good altogether. We had a mixed martial arts bout then. Taek against Ryogo Takahashi. Takahashi controlling the cage early, but didn't land much. Was unsuccessful with a takedown, got a bit of ground, but gave it up again. So, the story of this fight was Takahashi was pushing the pace. He was pushing the pace. Not much was being landed. Then he kind of gave that up for a minute, but then got it back, was pushing the pace again, landing some low kicks, and they were the most significant strikes, I would say, round one. So all the most significant strikes were landed when Takahashi was kind of going forward, but there wasn't much in either of it. But the second round started and O started leading, right? So when Takahashi was leading, there was strikes being landed. O started leading in the second. Takahashi landed a few kicks and all that. O got knocked down with a leg kick, and then Takahashi got a yellow card. So the guy who was leading the dance in the first, and there was loads of action, got pushed back in the second, and your man who was pushing him back didn't have loads of action, and Takahashi got the yellow card. That to me made no sense. Okay, he was fighting off the back foot or whatever, he was getting pushed back, and the guy pushing him back wasn't throwing any shots. So I don't know. I don't believe in yellow cards for this sort of thing anyway. And then he got a second yellow card, even though he went for a takedown, landed a nice short left hook inside, another leg kick, knockdown, and then there was another yellow card. It was just bizarre stuff altogether. He got a takedown, O got a takedown. Then there was a knee from Takahashi. O took the back, got back to the feet, closer third, but I thought Takahashi won the whole fight. I thought he won all 3 rounds. There wasn't much of the fight. I was talking to the lads over in Sherdog in the chat, and I think there was a 90-second where there was a 90-second window, I think, where O was winning the fight, and he lost. Takahashi lost. So Takahashi was winning the fight for almost all of it, and ended up losing. I think this is a bad decision. It scored on the most effective striking and grappling. There's no doubt about it that Takahashi had the most effective striking and grappling. I know he got yellow cards, but I don't think the yellow cards were right. It was a weird one. Didn't like this decision at all. So there you go. Then we had an atomweight Muay Thai bout. I was so impressed with Anissa Meksen, and she's actually going to be fighting Stamp Fairtex. Is it January? I think it is. 2 rounds Muay Thai, 2 rounds kickboxing. 2 rounds Muay Thai, 2 rounds MMA. That's going to be absolutely immense. She was fighting Dangkongfah, and Anissa was just bigger, landed way more shots in the first. Dang's head was just in the air. She was landing lovely jabs, lovely counters, lovely left hook. She had the power, and she ended up winning the decision. Very, very impressive. Someone that you look at and go, oh, I want to watch her fight again. It was one of those sort of performances. So very, very good altogether. I was very impressed. And the opening fight then on the card was a heavyweight kickboxing Grand Prix alternate bout, I believe. It was Rade Opacic against Giannis Stoforidis. Rade just way taller, landed loads of knees to the head inside from the clinch. Giannis not landing much. Body punch in round 2 hurt him, put him going backwards. A knee in inside, and then a kick to the body, attacked with his hands, knocked down, and it was all over. But it was really that body punch that started it all off. The few shots to the body that came after it were nasty as well. But I love the way he kind of opened up the body with those shots, and then the head opened up. So everything after the body punch was very, very slick stuff from Rade, and he was able to get the finish because of that body shot. But it was the hands. If you look at just the finish, you'd probably say, oh, it was like a 4 or 5 punch TKO or whatever it might be. But it was the body shot before that did him. So all in all, really good card, especially that main card, especially the main event. Very, very impressed with both Li and Jingnan. Very impressed with Stamp again, but Jihin, Radzuan was good as well. Freymanov and Amir definitely definitely two lads to watch out going forward. I know Grigorian, if people are a big fan of him already, but that Meksen fight against Sam Fairtex is going to be really, really good in the new year. So looking forward to all of that, and a very, very good card indeed. Right, I'll leave it there. My name's Jihin for Sherdog.com, and I'll see you all next time.